Hey vinyl community, welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very, very much. Today, yet another two releases for the month of July in the Atlantic 75 Analogue Productions series. And they are two fantastic albums. Bad Company Straight Shooter from 1975 and INXS Kick from 1987. Super excited to talk about these great albums that Analogue Productions is doing with the Atlantic 75 series. Such a great series. Haven't purchased them all, but I purchased quite a few of them. In particular, the rock and roll type music from that incredible era of the 70s and 80s that I just absolutely gravitated towards. My young growing up years, the music had such a huge impression, and these albums are certainly absolutely no different. So super excited to talk with you about them. We'll jump in and we'll start with Bad Company Straight Shooter. We'll give a quick review of it, a quick analysis comparing it to an original 1975 release on the Swan Song label, and then we'll jump right into INXS Kick. Let's go ahead and get started with Bad Company Straight Shooter. Bad Company Straight Shooter, released in 1975, Bad Company's second studio album. And you know what? They followed the great album, their first album, up with another fantastic album. Some incredibly great hits off this album. But more importantly, the entire album is just full of, in my opinion, wonderful, wonderful music. Band members at the time that this album was released was Paul Rogers, vocals, guitar, and piano, Mick Ralph's guitar and keyboards, Boz Burrell on the bass, and Simon Kirke was on drums. And when we get into the review and talking about each of the individual songs on this album, I will tell you those drums on this album sound fantastic. And the interesting thing about this album was, and this is my original pressing from 1975, it sounds great right from the start. This is a great album. My copy's in actually very good plus probably. And so I'm kind of lucky to have a really good copy to compare this to. But boy, I tell you what, they've really done just a great job. All of the Analogue Productions Atlantic 75s that I have purchased have been nothing but just fantastic. Besting whatever copy, whether it be an original pressing or mobile fidelity pressing or some other high quality pressing, they've always really done, and from my experience and the ones that I purchased, not all, have just been absolutely really, really wonderful. Which kind of is a perplexing thing talking about Bad Company, and I don't know if all of you have heard, but Rhino and their High Fidelity series is releasing the original Bad Company album, which is kind of perplexing to me in the fact that we just received an Analogue Productions 45 RPM version of that album just a few months ago, and it's absolutely stellar. However, the Rhino High Fidelities are all 33 RPM, so they're not cut at 45, and that may appeal to a large variety of folks, probably including myself, because I don't like getting up turning over the records that much. But anyway, when that gets released, we'll be comparing that. The other album that they are doing is Yes Relayer. So we'll be looking forward to those two copies. So let's go ahead and get back to Bad Company. Straight Shooter, Analogue Productions, part of the Atlantic 75. Let's go ahead, as we always do, and let's take a look at what we get in the package. And I'll just set that down aside. All of the Analogue Productions Atlantic 75 albums that I have purchased have all been fantastic. I hope I can get that to you so you can see it without a whole lot of glare. They've all just been, in my opinion, just fantastic. My number on this one is 000673. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the vinyl. Of course, they're pressed at QRP, 180 gram vinyl albums. They just look and sound absolutely fantastic. I couldn't find who did the remastering on this particular album, so I don't know really who at Analogue Productions, who they entrusted to remaster this. I really couldn't find it. It's not on Acoustic Sound's website. It's not on Discogs, but I'm not really sure who did the remastering of this album. But rest assured, it's excellent. Let's go through and talk quickly about the tracks on the album. I'll give you my impressions and we'll quickly compare it to the original pressing. As we stated at the very first, both of these albums that we're going to be talking about today, Bad Company Straight Shooter and INXS Kick, they all have some really, really good hits. And boy, Bad Company Straight Shooter is no exception. Side 1 on the dual 45 RPM version of this, Analogue Productions, Good Lovin' Gone Bad, just a great song. It's a super song, one of their big hits off the album for sure. Drums and percussion are clean and very well detailed. Resolution top to bottom's just spot on. Moving on to track 2, Feel Like Making Love, excuse me. That's a great song as well. Another huge hit on the album. Voices on this track are rich and much better defined and balanced. They sound absolutely stellar. It's up front. It's really it's really mixed well, and really I think depth of stage is excellent, but the vocals on this track are just incredible. Moving over to side 2, Weep No More. This is a great song, one of my favorite on the album. Nice overall balance with instruments and vocal. Guitars are clean with nice detail. Drums are balanced with all other instruments. There's no exaggeration in top to bottom anywhere here on this, but they're all given, in particular the drums, with, I believe, proper weight. And maybe that needs to be better definition, which kind of eludes and gets us to that bigger weight on the bottom end. Second song on side 2, another huge hit for the band, Shooting Star. This is such a great song. It has been given a huge jump in clarity and definition without really overdoing anything, top or bottom. You can hear the slight echo in the studio on the vocals. Guitar solo is absolutely fantastic on this cut. Moving over to side 3, disc 2, Deal with the Preacher. Drums on this track are just incredible. They sound great. Deep with nice definition. Guitar licks are clean and well balanced. The drums and the vocals is all balanced so well, but boy, they have just got a level of detail and resolution that is just really striking on this song. Second song on side 3, Wildfire Woman. Great song, excellent vocals. The vocals in this are really the star of this song as well. Upfront presentation, drums once again sound very nice. Percussion is very clean. Guitars are open and clear. Jumping over to side 4, first song, Anna. Best song on the album in my opinion. Fantastic dynamics. Drums are outstanding on this cut. Along with the vocals, guitar is absolutely clean and clear. This is a song on the album, Anna, in my opinion, that you want to turn up because it just sounds great. It will give your stereo, your high fidelity system, a great workout. Excellent dynamics on this song. Second song on side 4, Call on Me. Another great song that gets overlooked. Keyboards sound excellent. Drums and vocals once again stand out. Just a great overall presentation on the Analogue Productions Atlantic 75 version. Granted, it's at 45 RPM. It's just another home run, in my opinion, from the Atlantic 75 series. It's just phenomenal. Now, as I compared this to the original 1975 Swan Song pressing that I have, as indicated, the original is very good. It sounds very nice. 33 RPM, excuse me. Great sounding. Excellent sound, really, for an original pressing from 1975. But it's just really similar to everything else that we have talked about when we compare an original to the Atlantic 75. Analogue Productions 45 RPM. Everything is just cleaned up, sounding from top to bottom, more dynamic, better detail, better inner detail. Low level resolution seems to be a huge triumph on all of these. This one is absolutely no different. Fantastic. Can you hear the difference between the original pressing and this one? If you were to do a blind test on it, absolutely. It's very striking. Sound levels, you know, they're really not a whole lot different. You do hear the quiet vinyl on the Atlantic 75 Analogue Productions version. Here again, I think that's a huge improvement from the original pressing, just that in itself. But really, what a great remastering job. And here again, I don't know who did it, but a great job on Bad Company Straight Shooter. Highly, highly recommended. Absolutely fantastic. If this is an album that you're a huge fan of, you got to have this in your collection. It's that good. Let's go ahead and move over and talk about INXS Kick. INXS Kick, their sixth studio album, released in 1987. What a great album. I think is absolutely their best venture. Yeah, I love INXS. They have great albums out. This is by far my most favorite. It is by far their most popular, at least I believe in my opinion. The entire album has great music. There's several hits on the album for sure, but the entire album is absolutely stunning in the quality of musicianship and the music that they have done. The album is just a killer album from the 80s. Probably one of my favorite 1980s album is INXS Kick. This album, Atlantic 75 Analogue Productions, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that. This album was actually remastered by Ryan K. Smith from a original EQ Dolby tape copy. So it's not an original, but it's a tape copy, Dolby EQ tape copy. But here again, take a look at these covers that Analogue Productions is doing. These Stoughton, just absolutely quality gatefold type albums. Fantastic. Just an incredible job I believe Analogue Productions is doing. Let me just quickly show you the vinyl really fast. I think this is really kind of a cool thing. Here is side 1 of the album, rolling right on over to side 2. Sides 3 and 4 are basically the exact same. This will be the logo on side 3 and the Atlantic Records logo on side 4. This album is indicated as full of hits. 1987 had to be one of the biggest albums ever released in that year. Band members at the time that they released this album were Michael Hutchence, lead vocals, backing vocals, Andrew Ferris, keyboards and guitars, Tim Ferris, guitars, Faris, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, Tim Faris, I don't know, I'm not sure on that. Kirk Pengilly, guitar, saxophone, backing vocals. These guys are from Australia, so I'm probably pronouncing this really wrong. Gary Beers, bass, backing vocals, and John Ferris, drums, percussion, and backing vocals on this album as well. I don't have an original pressing of this album. The only thing that I have to compare the Analogue Productions version of this album to is a compact disc, and frankly I'm not even going to bother. It's just not really worth it. The sound quality on this album is no different than what we've come to expect from Analogue Productions as part of this Atlantic 75 series. It's nothing short of fantastic. 45 RPM, Ryan K. Smith from the Dolby EQ'd copy of the tape just did a phenomenal job. On side 1, Guns in the Sky, great song by the way. This is a great song with good vocals and well-balanced instruments. Second song, probably arguably one of the biggest hits on the album, New Sensation, at least here in the United States it was a huge hit. Nice balance with good overall definition. Bass drum has weight and impact. Number 3, Devil Inside. I love this song. It's just a good song. Intro to the song is completely awesome. The dead quiet background on the vinyl really adds to the enjoyment and quality of the sound on Devil Inside. You gotta hear it. It sounds great. Vocal is excellent along with drums and guitars. Dynamics are superb. Guitar licks extended without being over the top. Really, it's a demo cut, really. Devil Inside. Plus, it's a great song. Rolling over to side 2, Need You Tonight. Another great hit. You know, super great song with excellent dynamics, clean and clear from the top to bottom. Vocals are wonderful. Imaging is well beyond the sidewalls. Wonderful sounding cut. This really could be a demo cut just because of the imaging, and it's really in the voice, the vocals on that cut. I don't know why, but my sidewalls were a whole lot wider than they typically are when listening to music. I don't know what the reason for, just the way that it was recorded, I'm not sure, but just the imaging on that is just beyond the sidewalls. It's incredible. Great song. Second song on side 2, Mediate. Great song with great vocals and excellent balance between vocals and instruments. Third song on side 2, The Loved One. It's just really more of the same. Great song, by the way. Rolling over to side 3, Wildlife. Excellent sonics on this cut, clean and extended throughout. Track number 2, Never Tear Us Apart. Great song, by the way. Another great song with excellent vocals, clean and balanced with excellent dynamics. The saxophone in this is very clean and clear and just sounds pristine. Nice imaging with good overall depth. Third song on side 3, Mystify. Clean and well defined on percussion and vocals. Side 4, Kick. This is just another great song with excellent dynamics and clean vocals. Great sounding drums, great sax with extremely good resolution. Calling All Nations, another solid song with more of the same great sound quality. Tiny Daggers, maybe one of my favorite on the album. Last song on side 4, one of the best songs on the album in my opinion. Yet another example of quality musicianship and great sound. This is just really a fantastic album by INXS. One of my favorite, obviously my favorite of theirs for sure, but one of my favorites from the 1980s. Here again, Analogue Productions, the Atlantic 75 series, just did a stellar job with this. Remastering is first rate. The only problem I had with this one, and it's really not an issue, I've already made contact with Acoustic Sounds, but my disc number 1 at the very start has a slight warp. I had to add a little bit of weight to the cartridge to get it to track properly, which is no big deal. I added another gram maybe, and of course backed it off when I was done playing, but they'll shoot out another replacement of disc 1 without any problems. I've never had any issues getting replacements for things that aren't necessarily perfect. Other than that, it's a great album, fantastic release from Analogue Productions on the Atlantic 75 series. Anyway, great album, highly recommended. Next video, we're going to be taking a step away from reviewing for just a minute. I'm going to be talking about my favorite, since we're halfway through the year now of 2024, my favorite albums that have been released in 2024 up to this point. We'll be talking about that and looking at those in our next video. Plus, our next video will probably have a little bit of an update on speaker and audio equipment search, as I'm vividly looking to upgrade my sound system. Really was just planning on doing it slowly, maybe amp and preamp and speakers, but I'm kind of thinking I might try and bite the bullet and get it done. So anyway, I'll give you an update on that in the next video. Until then, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate that greatly. But the most important thing, as always, please leave comments in the comment section below. I love hearing from you. I appreciate each and every one of your comments that you make, both good and bad. I'm certainly not perfect, not aware that I know anybody that is, for sure. But really leave your comments in the comment section below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, have a great day.